Those of you that watched last week's video will have known that I did this. But thanks to my friend in the photography community, I managed to actually get away and do a little bit more photography. I thought that it was just the lens that was going to be my problem, I'll be quite honest. But turns out the saga does go a little bit further than that. So let's get off and have a look at this vlog, and then I'll give you an update on why you need insurance for your photography, because trust me, you really do. Welcome to today's vlog, guys. And today, this is a vlog that probably should not have happened. Now, after what I think is going to be next week's vlog, depending on the timeline, you'll have noticed I did this. But thanks to Mr. Paul Baker, or as I call him, Super Baker, he saved my bacon and he's got me back on the road. So I'm down in Portsmouth and I'm going to have a go a little bit of black and white on this bright, beautiful, sunny day of one special building. So it seems that timing and the gods have aligned, because I go and break my lens, but I was also supposed to be coming to Portsmouth today. My son's doing a wrestling show, so I was coming down to view that. And it turns out this is where Paul lives as well. So I could tie the two in together and grab the lenses from him. What a star, I'm telling you. Well, Mr. Baker has saved the day. He's loaned me a lens. In fact, he's loaned me two. Oh, good man. So, of all the iconic buildings that are here, and all the iconic ships, what have I come to shoot? Well, obviously, Spinnaker Tower. So today's vlog is going to be a two-part shoot. This afternoon, I've got probably about another hour, and then I've got to go off to the wrestling show. But I thought I'd try and take advantage of that time and do some high contrast black and white of the Spinnaker Tower. So I'm shooting it from the Esplanade side where the ferry is. Right, I need to work the angle. I've had a little bit of a walk up. This angle doesn't quite cut it. There's two buildings in the scene that I want to make sure are there. Let's head back that way. Well, this is the angle I'm looking for. So we've got Spinnaker Tower, and then we've got another building next to it. I don't know the name of that. I'll find that out and put it on the screen. I'd like to be a few more feet to the right, but unfortunately the ferry is currently docked. So yeah, that's kind of in the way. So the idea is to have the separation from the two towers, but I want them to be close enough together so it just doesn't look like they're too spaced out. So that's the shot I'm going for. But I do have to use my old lens. Yeah, it does work, believe it or not. I managed to kind of bend it and push it back into place so that it's no longer on an angle. But unfortunately, all the internal gubbings are actually on display. So, because I've only got filters for that camera, for that lens, that's the one I'm going to have to try and use today, because I really do need a polarizer. Okay, so without trying to drop it today, let's see what we can do. I did take a practice shot last night and the autofocus seemed to work, so that's good, and it took a shot. Polarizer on. Give that a clean. Right. Fingers crossed, eh? Okay, so we're looking around about, if I go to f11, ISO 64, I'm looking around about 1/250th of a second. Nope, autofocus isn't working. Try pushing that in. Doesn't look like it's focusing. And when you maneuver this, it lets light in. So this lens is completely useless now. Damn it. So that means we're going to have to go over to Mr. Baker's DX lenses. Again, thank you, Mr. Baker. But it does mean my camera will automatically go into DX mode, which I think is about a 1.6 crop, which means I'm down to about 18 megapixels. But that's plenty. Don't need more than that. What I can't do is put a filter on it, because mine's 67mm and the DX lens is 62. Okay, so it's on with the DX lens, and we're about 60mm, 58, 60mm on here, so 90 to 100mm on a full frame camera. We're down to 18 megapixels and we're at 2/50th of a second on f11 ISO 64. Now I'm going to be cloning out the boat that's in shot here just. It's just in the frame. I've got, just in the bottom corner. Nice clear blue sky, so I should be able to darken that down really dark. And then you've got that popping white Spinnaker Tower in there, and then those nice reflections that are on the building behind.
And here's our first image. Now, I'm not really overly enamoured with it. They are too close together to be honest, but that is not my biggest problem. Watch this. Did you see that? That's the first indicator of the future problems my camera hold. Let me switch it on and off for you again. Yeah, there it is. It's not level.
Okay, let's move a few yards back up the jetty. Jetty, pier, harbour, whatever you want to call it. I've gone the wrong way. It's that way. Well, the other building that caught my attention was the one over there with the Union Jack on it, and I've bumped into a lovely young lady who tells me it might have been called the Pig and Whistle, but I just like the shape of it. So we're giving that one a go, but we're getting some nice contrast of light on there, so that hopefully will work well.
Well, I'm not sure if she was right, but it's definitely an interesting building. But this didn't make for a great shot. The sky did nothing in this for me. So let's pop back in the morning and see if I can get something better in the blue hour.
Well, welcome to 4:15 in the morning, guys. We're heading off back to the same side. So I went off for a bit of a scout last night and realised I'm far too close to the subject for the focal length that I can get. Obviously 50mm plus 0.6 takes me to about 18mm. So yeah, we're going to shoot it from the same side again, but we are in blue hour and we've got a lot of cloud. So I just got to find my way to where I'm supposed to be. Never park up in the dark. Oh, that's a bit darker, isn't it? I haven't brought my little torch that goes on the side of my camera either. So, this is the angle that we're getting from this side. I've come actually further up. I looked on Google Earth and I was thinking, oh, if I can get a little bit further up than I was yesterday, then I will probably get an angle on Spinnaker Tower. But I do think that, oh, I've come into some light. But I do think that I've got to get past all of these boats, billions of them, before I'm going to get a clean shot of it. In fact, I'm definitely going to have to get past these boats. Yeah. Well, okay. That's good news, isn't it? I'm lit up by a street light. It looks like I've got my first angle on the tower. And this is the furthest away I can get from the subject, with a nice clean shot between two boats. The only thing is, I've got a big tower block down the right-hand side. But as we walk away down this jetty, then I might be able to clear that. But we'll start here. And as we're in blue hour, I might be able to get a little bit of a long exposure. Right, so we're setting up for our first shot. Now, nice and sharp. I've managed to push this to a 10-second exposure. So that will nicely smooth out the sea that's in front of me, even though there's not much going on anyway. I've got a couple of boats in there that I'm going to have to remove in post. But I don't quite like the angle on the sails. I'm hoping when I get towards the end of the jetty that it's going to open them out a bit. But I do get the lights that are on. I'm sure they're going to go off soon, so I better work quick.
Well, that's a little bit more like it, but I would like to see that tower separated from Spinnaker. The blue hour is giving me some atmosphere and some softer light to work with, and the lights being on within the scene, well, they're helping to make everything pop. So, if you were to give me a choice between the blue skies of the previous day and the blue hour of this morning, you can give me blue hour every time. Now, I drive a van everywhere I go, and they can be a bit of a pain in the butt when it comes to parking. So I wouldn't want to drive one of these.
If you worry about reverse parking, maybe you should drive one of them.
Yeah, no thanks.
So I'm making my way along, and it looks like the sail doesn't open out quite as much as I want it to, but I have eliminated all of the boats that are in the shot from this angle. So we'll give this one a go. And it does take that tower away that's in the background, the block of flats, whatever it is. It does take that away to one side. So it gives me some separation from Spinnaker. Okay. I think this will be probably as far as I go. Unless this carries on around to the right. Ooh, it looks like it does. Ooh. Okay, I've got that in a portrait. Let's see if we can do something with a landscape on this shot and see if we can get like a cityscape. Well, at the widest I can go, I can just about get the tower in with its little pinnacle. Got to admit, if I was to live with just 80 to 400 mil, yeah, I don't think I could.
Now, of all the angles I shot today, they're all very similar, but I think this one works the best. That tower is nicely separated from Spinnaker, and I think in this landscape version, this cityscape works really well. Well, it does for my eye anyway, and with the slight bit of cropping that I had to do because I needed to straighten it, I still managed to keep the full height of Spinnaker Tower in view.
Okay, I think one more shot around the corner. See if it opens up the sail for me. If not, I think that's going to be the last shot of the day. Let's go and have a look. Well, by coming around the corner, I've not really gained anything, I'll be quite honest. I'm actually getting closer to the tower, so it's making the shot tighter and tighter. I've now got just a fraction of sea in the bottom, and yeah, I'd like a bit more. So I don't think this angle's working the best. I will do a vertical whilst I'm here, as I may as well. That way I will at least get a good bit of sea and a good bit of sky in the shot. But I was hoping that the sail would open up a little bit more than this. Yeah, never mind.
So again, very similar, and I think today is a case of the devil's in the details, and it's working out which angle works best with the skyline behind and how you separate the taller buildings within it. let's pop back and have a little discussion about why you need insurance and what's gone wrong with my camera.
So welcome back to the office, guys. Now obviously these two issues are intertwined. Yeah, it turns out I'd done a lot more to my camera than just damaging the lens. Because it went down nose first, it seems that I've managed to damage the camera mount itself on the body, and I've also managed to do something to the level. So it's off to the insurers with those. Yeah, this could have been a very expensive fix if I didn't have insurance. I'd have been looking at replacing the camera body as well as replacing the lens. Now, I did have another meetup the following weekend, which was a long weekend with the Thumbs Up Photography group. And I was determined that I needed to have something that would give me a bit more wide angle. So I had another play with the lens, tried to get it to fit together, and I thought I'd got it working between about 28mm and 65mm. So I thought, great, at least I've got something before I get this repaired. Yeah, well, I was trying to shoot across to Trefan, across the Ogwen Valley. And I don't think that Llyn Ogwen is supposed to flow in this direction. No, I think it's supposed to look a little bit more like this. So therein lies why you need insurance. We actually operate out in the field a lot. We put ourselves into positions where we could quite easily damage anything at any time. It only takes one slight mishap. You drop your bag on the floor, you knock your tripod over. We're constantly set up in precarious situations. So having insurance for me has now become one of the tools that are required within my arsenal that I use for landscape photography. Now you may be asking, but surely that's just going to bump up your insurance premiums too much. Well, unfortunately for me, I managed to do this the week before my renewal was due, and I'd actually had the quote come through for the renewal on the insurance. So I informed them that I'd done the damage and it needed to be looked at, and they said fine. I sent it off to them. I got my renewal quote within a couple of days, and it was about £11 more. So over the years that it would take for me to cover the cost of my camera and lens, which is anywhere between £2.5 grand and £2 grand, I could pay a lot of insurance. So yeah, so this now has become one of the assets that's a must-have asset for me. Right, let's get back into the field and say goodbye. Well, a photo shoot that was born of bad luck, good timing, circumstance. Yeah. Weird one, this one. Absolutely weird one. So, if my son didn't have a wrestling show, I wouldn't have come down to Portsmouth. If I hadn't have dropped the lens, I wouldn't have needed to borrow a lens off Mr. Baker. So it was like the gods were aligning themselves for my misfortune. Still, that's the insurance company's problem at the minute. Hopefully they'll sort me out rather quick and I'll be able to get my lens back. My thanks go out to Paul. Super Paul. Da, da, da. Yeah, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Well, that's going to wrap this one up. I hope the images have turned out okay and I've got what I imagined in my brain for the Spinnaker Tower. And as it's 10 to 6 in the morning, I think it's time I got back to the van, took my wife for breakfast. I'll see you guys in the next one.